Okay, so let's get into today's lesson. And today we are going to be, well, yesterday we talked about imagery. As you know, the broader topic that we are on is narrative writing, but we didn't want to dive into narrative writing before highlighting a few important things. We started with imagery first because as you write your stories, you are going to be using sensory details. It's very important that we also did the elements of narrative writing, right? Do you remember those elements? What are they? Characterization, good. Second, setting, plot, theme, point of view. And so when you are ascribing characteristics to your characters, and when you are writing about your setting and structuring your plot, outlining your plot, imagery is necessary. Your use of imagery and sensory details is necessary. Now, yesterday we did imagery, and today we are going to be looking at the setting. We are going to be describing setting. And so these are your objectives for today. At the end of the class, you will be able to, one, correctly explain what setting is. So you will know what the setting of a story is. The second objective is that you're going to be able to identify the importance of setting in a story. And finally, you will be able to sufficiently describe a setting or a scene using imagery and sufficient details. So you could go ahead and screenshot that slide so that we can move on. All right. I want you to look at this scene. I hope you can see it very well. Look at this scene. Look at this picture. If this place were in the Bahamas, probably it is. I don't know. But if it were in the Bahamas, where do you think it would be? Where specifically would it be? Where? Which island? See it? Okay. What are some of the responses, Miss Smith? Your mic is muted.
Sorry, they said it's a haunted house. It looks scary. They said this would be in Mangrove Key, Andros, an uninhabited island in Auckland.
Oh, in Auckland! Wow! Okay, I wonder where Auckland. All right, so you think Auckland. What time, look at it, what time of day does it look like? What time of day it is? Is it in the morning? Is it midnight? Is it at dawn? Is it dusk? What time of day?
Everyone's saying night.
Okay, everybody says night. What about the season? Could it be the summer? Winter, autumn?
They're saying winter, fall, autumn, fall, autumn.
Okay, I noticed that I didn't hear anyone say the summer. And finally, what kind of people live here? What kind of people?
They say old, ghosts, strange people, vampires, witches, trolls, elderly, mysterious people, homeless,
I didn't
bats. Carpenters,
okay.
Zombies.
I didn't know that there were zombies and witches in the Bahamas. Okay, and finally, if these persons, you said old persons live here, homeless people, what feelings and emotions do they usually experience? Are they joyous people? Are they joyful? Are they always in a happy and elated mood? Or are they miserable and grumpy?
They have depressed, lonely, sad and angry.
Okay, all right. What
grumpy.
About grumpy? What about fearful? Maybe. Okay. Now, the purpose of these questions is to allow you to see how important it is that setting connects to the other elements of a story. Okay? You were able to look at the picture and describe the type of people who live there or the time of day. So when you're writing your stories, your selection of setting is very, very important. Your setting will only be effective if you describe it well. And to describe it sufficiently, effectively, you have to use imagery. Okay? Now look at these two descriptions of that haunted house. I want you to look at these two paragraphs and you're going to tell me which one sufficiently uses imagery. Which one do you prefer? The first one says, and read along with me after 2, 1, I may be able to hear you. 2. The house looked dark and old. It was big and scary. There was a tree in the yard. I could also see the green and lovely lawn. The place looked shadowy. You could see the faint lights coming through the trees. The windows and the doors were falling off. So that's the first paragraph. Listen to the second paragraph. From the outside, the house was huge and eerie, made from large, dark gray stones that had a rough feel, held together by crumbling cement. Climber plants grew up the house, winding around the drain pipes, grabbing for the little sunlight that reached this desolate drain pipes, grabbing for the little sunlight that reached this desolate place. Sorry, that was a repetition. The windows rattled vigorously from the howling wind, as though they were about to fall out of the frames, which were made from the rotting wood, being eaten away by wormwood. Which paragraph sounds better? Which paragraph applies more imagery? Were you able to hear the wind? Yes, I'm sure. It says that the wind was howling. And so today we will be teaching you how to write the second paragraph, how to employ imagery to your setting. Okay, so you could go ahead and quickly write the slide. Setting is one of the elements of narrative writing, as we described earlier in our earlier class. Story writers set their characters in a world with a type of location, place, time, and culture.
If you miss the notes before the slide is over, I'm typing it in the comment section.
So story writers set their characters in a world with a type of location. When we say location, we are talking about specifically where are the events taking place? Specifically where? Okay? So is it in your backyard? Specifically? Or is it on the streets? Is it downtown? Is it in the school? Place, okay? Place could refer to the country, the community. Time, it could be time of day, and culture. Setting helps us to describe how the environment makes us feel or explains why something happens in an environment. So let us move on. But first of all, what is setting? Setting is the place, time, era, where, or era, as you may say, where the events of the story take place. And this is an example here of a setting. This is a dock, and it could be it could be in Nassau, it could be in Greater Harbor Key, Harbor Island. Okay, so setting is the place, time, and era where the events of the story take place. Where the events of the story. Okay, so when we talk about setting, we talk about physical setting and also the time period. So let us look at this. It says the physical details of setting include all of the places where the action takes place. It includes the location, climate, and the object. Physical setting may change from scene to scene, okay? So for example, in A Cow Called Boy, I know most of us are familiar with A Cow Called Boy. A Cow Called Boy we had different setting. Well, the general setting was in Jamaica. Where in Jamaica? Kendall. Most of the events took place in the classroom or in front of Mr. Watson's shop or generally at the school. Okay? So it includes the location, also includes the climate, and also the objects. I want you to type some more examples of physical setting. We have here Philadelphia. So it basically could be any other country, okay, or community or town. The temporal setting relates to time. So it could include the era or the year a story is set in, or the duration of time in which a story takes place, or the time of day. And the temporal setting also tells us what technology is available. Okay, so remember, you could go ahead, you could take a picture and then complete your notes later on. Okay, I want you to listen to this video. It talks about settings.
Where are we? I'm sitting, leaning, living, breathing, thinking about the book that I finished reading. I dug the characters and liked the plot. Was anything else important? Probably not. Wait, what about the setting? The setting is the one I'm always forgetting. It gives us the where and the when, but it's mostly in the background. Know what I'm saying? Actually, maybe not. The setting might be more important than I thought. Here's a character, his name is Todd, and here's some action that's a part of the plot. Todd clenched his jaw, he was sweating. How could that be informed by the setting? Well, let's say he's on a track at a race, shooting bird, he's running, trying for first place. But what if we switch up the setting? There might be a different reason Todd is sweating. Say he's in class, sitting at a desk, might infer schoolwork's causing him stress. Or what if he was on a ship going down? Fear is the reason he's sweating now. The upsetting can reveal conflicts and plots, plus it provides context. I'm ready, you know where and when is the setting. The mood and themes that we're getting, and the plot the author is telling are informed by the setting. I'm ready, you know where and when is the setting. The mood and themes that we're getting, and the plot the author is telling are informed by the setting. Setting can inform the mood and the theme, like a score adds a feeling to a movie scene. If the setting is a cliffside drive with a nice new ride under bright blue skies, the theme might be exploration or freedom, and there's already a mood I'm feeling, a mood of hopefulness and excitement. From the setting the author's writing, good authors choose settings with care. They don't pick a random place and put their story there. Like when Odysseus is trapped in the cave with the Cyclops who wants to eat him up right away. Why did the author choose a cave? He wanted Odysseus to be trapped, okay? He could have chosen a locked room, but a cave's gloom sets a darker mood. And it allows Odysseus to hide in the dark until he blinds the Cyclops and then sneaks off. The setting of the cave was key to the plot and conflict, the mood and themes. So the next time you read a book, at the setting is where you need to look. And when you write, choose the setting with care. Think mood, theme, and plot, and not just where. I'm ready, you know where and when is the setting. The mood and themes that we're getting, and the plot the author is telling are informed by the setting. I'm ready, you know where and when is the setting. The mood and themes that we're getting, and the plot the author is telling are informed by the setting. The story needs a setting like the summer needs heat, like yours need feet. EDM need a beat, like a butcher needs meat, and the dentist needs teeth, like wool needs a sheep, like a press needs a beat, like a lock needs a key, like a bird needs a beat, like a day needs a week, like a curse needs a bleep on TV. A repeat needs a repeat, a repeat needs a repeat, a repeat needs a repeat.
Okay, so from that video, we see that the setting is very, very important. And we need to be able to select our setting very carefully because they tell us about the characters, what they're feeling, the mood. They're able to set the mood. They're able to describe the theme. Your setting should be able to tell you or direct you or give you an idea about the theme of the story. The setting also tells you a lot about the characters, their actions, and also the conflict. All right. And so today we are going to be talking about how to amply, sufficiently describe the setting, which is the same as the place or the scene, the time of the day. Okay. Now, number one, it's very important that when you are describing the setting, you use imagery, as we said earlier, imagery. And remember that we said yesterday, imagery appeals to your senses. So it involves sensory details. What am I able to smell when I look into this sentence? Is this sentence appealing to my sense of smell? If I'm in the kitchen, or there's a conflict in the kitchen, if my story is surrounding something that happens in the kitchen, or when I'm just waking up for breakfast, do I smell the breakfast? You will make the scene clear, vivid, and colorful to the reader when you use sensory details. The second thing is that you have to choose your words carefully. And remember, yesterday we said that you use imagery, and what helps is a lot of adjectives, adverbs, metaphors, and simile. Okay? So that's the first consideration when you are describing that you're supposed to think, is that you are to choose your words carefully. So choose words of action, sound, movement, sizes, and color. And later on, when we are doing our examples, you are going to see what I mean by action, words that show action and sound and movement and sizes and color. When you do this, the reader will clearly actually envision, just like yesterday when we could see that big burger, when we could see that big juicy burger, and we also could taste it. We could see the field of flowers. So we have a mental picture of what they were describing because they were sufficiently using the color words. They were using adjectives, and they were choosing their words carefully. Sometimes you get a scene to describe, and you are very overwhelmed with so many things that are in the scene. But don't get confused. Select a few things that you want to describe. Maybe 4 or 5 or 3 to 4 specific things that you want to describe. Okay? So as we go along, I want you to remember these 3 tips. I want you to listen again to this video.
Hi, welcome back. Today I want to talk about description. Now, description is giving a clear and detailed image of what it is you are seeing. When I say give an image, I mean give an image in words. Describe the small details, describe color, describe size of what it is you are seeing so that the person you are talking to can almost see it themselves. So behind me, we see a beautiful river, we see trees, right? And we see the sky. The difficult thing with description is where to begin. Sometimes if you have so much to look at, like behind me, the river, trees, the sky, it can be difficult to begin. So what I recommend doing is starting simple. Pick out 3 to 4 things that you can clearly see. So for this example, we can talk about the water, we can talk about the trees, and we can talk about the sky. All right, so let's begin. How do we describe water? Well, we can talk about the size or the quantity, the amount of water. We can talk about the color of water. For this example, it might be hard to say how much water there is. So maybe we could talk about size. Talk about how long the river is, so from this point all the way up to this point, or how wide, so wide from this point to this point. That is the width. Okay, so behind me is a river, a wide river. We can also talk about the movement of the water. Is the water still? Well, you can see it's rippling a little bit, right? Rippling is how water moves. There aren't really waves, it's just flowing. So flowing or rippling could be a good word to describe this water. So behind me is a flowing river that stretches far into the distance. Now, the third thing we can talk about with water is the color. It is pretty difficult to see the color of this water, especially because it's sort of a gray and gloomy day. But we could maybe say it is murky. Murky is when you can't see the bottom of the water. It's not blue, it's not green, not clear, sort of a brownish gray color. All right, so let's put these descriptive words together. So we have a wide, murky river that flows into the distance. That's a pretty good description of what we're seeing here. Okay, the next thing we can describe, the trees. We have trees here and we have trees here, right? So two sections of trees. So how do we know how tall these trees are? Well, if we look at the river is pretty wide, right? So that can tell us that the trees, they're probably pretty tall. Okay, so they're tall green trees. And where are they located? Well, they're on this side of the river and on this side of the river. So they are on either side of the river. So let's put our description of trees and our description of the river together. On either side of the wide, flowing, murky river that stretches into the distance stand tall green trees. Okay, so that's okay. We could probably give a little bit more detail about the trees. Maybe how many trees there are. Well, if you look, you really can't count, right? There's not 1, 2, 3, 4. There are an uncountable amount of trees. So maybe we could say that. All right, so let's put the two together. On either side of the wide, murky, flowing river that stretches into the distance stand an uncountable amount of tall green trees. Okay, good. We have both the description of the river and the description of the trees. Pretty clear. All right, and the last thing we can describe in this setting or this image is the sky. Okay, to me, the sky looks pretty gray. It is a rainy, gray, dull day. Okay, so we can describe this. And maybe we could use a preposition. The preposition locates items or things in time and space. So where is the sky? The sky is above. And what is below the sky? Well, the river and the trees. So we can add this into the description. Below the dull, gray, and rainy sky stand an uncountable amount of tall green trees that surround the wide and murky river that flows into the distance. So as you can see, we started with the water, we added the trees, and then we added the description of the sky. And when you put it all together, you have a very clear description on what it is we are seeing. This is a great way to approach describing things, especially if you don't know where to begin. Pick a few things out that you think you can talk clearly about and give good detail to, and then add one thing on top of the next, and eventually you will have a very clear and vivid description. Thanks for your time, and I'll see you soon.
Okay, so do you notice what he did? First of all, he looked at the scene. He didn't allow it to overwhelm him. He chose three to four things that he wanted to describe. He selected them. He selected the trees, the sky, the water, okay? And then when he did his selection, he actually chose 3 descriptive words or 3 things that he wanted to say about each. And so he ended up with below the dull gray and rainy sky stand an uncountable amount of tall green trees that surround the wide and murky river that flows into the distance. So he put them all together, right, using imagery, adjectives, and some metaphors. So we are going to go ahead and try one together. Now, it's very important that you do not make your sentences too long because you don't want to confuse yourself and your readers. And when you write shorter sentences, when I say shorter sentences, I don't mean sentences of 6 to 12 words. But when you write sentences that are not too long as 20 or 25 words, you stand the chance of making less grammatical errors. So we are going to be doing we are going to be looking at a scene and we're going to be using imagery, sensory details. We're going to be using advanced adjectives and adverbs, figurative devices such as metaphors and similes. So let us look at this scene. I want you now to identify, to pick out 3 or 4 things about this scene that we can describe. Okay? I'm sure some of you are saying the sky,
the water,
right? The water. What else are you saying?
The woman.
Okay, the woman, the water, the sky. Okay.
Right hammock.
The hammock. Okay, is anybody saying the sand? Okay, now what do you know? Pardon?
Her hat.
Okay, her hat. All right. Now, if you look at this scenery very well, remember we want to appeal to all the senses. So we cannot. She's on the beach. She's relaxing. So there has to be something that she's feeling. Is it hot? Is it cool? We know that it is cool because we see that the leaves are extended. So it is extending towards the sea. So obviously there is breeze. So let us start with the breeze. How would you describe the breeze? So we're just going to be listing them. The breeze. Is it cool? Is it soothing? Is it hot? Go ahead and give some words. So the breeze.
Cool, calm.
Okay. Okay,
relaxing.
Very good.
Soothing.
Very good. So we could start with saying something like a soothing, cool breeze, and we could insert a metaphor there. We could say a soothing, cool. Those were the words that you gave me. Cool breeze. Can we give the beach a name? Give me some names. Okay. So a soothing, cool breeze.
Hawaii. South
Pardon?
Beach. South Beach.
Okay, South Beach. So a soothing, cool breeze played over the face of South Beach. Let us continue with the water. When you are describing water, what are aspects of the water that you want to describe? You could talk about the movement. You could talk about the color of the water. Okay? It looks quite gentle. It looks calm. Give me some more adjectives. All right, nice. Tranquil. So we could say something like the tranquil water.
Aqua blue.
Okay, all right, good. The aqua blue, the tranquil water lapped gently because it's not too breezy. All right, this is a nice soothing breeze. And so it's lapping gently. All right, we could see the sand, it meets the sand. So let us describe the sand next. What is the color of the sand? Or how does it look? Do I hear white?
White, brown.
Brown, okay. So let us put that together. Could we describe a type of white? Okay, we could say pearl white. So let us put our description together. A soothing, cool breeze played over the face of South Beach. The tranquil water lapped gently at the pearl white sand. Could we insert an onomatopoeia there or something so that we could hear? We could say it makes a shushing sound. So as it comes upon the sand, it makes a shushing sound. Now let's go to the woman. What name are we going to give the woman? What's the name of the woman there?
Alexia.
Okay, Alexia. So we could say, Alexia, could we say about her? Obviously, she is relaxing. She's in her hammock. So we could say, Alexia relaxed in her hammock that was tied to what? What is a hammock attached to? Okay, good. To two coconut trees. Okay, two palm trees, two coconut trees. Now, how do these, I think it is very important here for us to insert a simile like we did yesterday. So we could say that these palm trees or these coconut trees are standing. They're standing how? Metaphor. So they're standing militantly like soldiers. So Alexia relaxed in her hammock that was tied to two palm trees or two coconut trees, which stood militant like soldiers, like two soldiers. So that's the woman. So let us put them together now, our sentences. A soothing, what did we say? A soothing what? Cool breeze played over the face of South Beach. The tranquil water lapped gently at the pearl white sand, making a shushing sound. Alexia relaxed in her hammock that was tied to two coconut trees, which stood militantly like soldiers. We want to say something like, okay, the sunshine, she gazed up at the sunshine, which is very important because we don't have to say it's a sunny day or a bright day. We don't have to say it's noon or in the day. The sunshine connotes that it's in the day. All right, so we are actually alluding to the setting, the time of day. So she gazed up at the sunshine through the leaves that were gently swaying in the wind. How do you like that description? Pardon? Someone what?
Sunshine gleamed on her skin.
Oh, gleamed on. Oh, wow. You could actually see the sunshine gleaming on her skin. I like that. So let us see if we could quickly write that. I have never used this whiteboard before. So let us just quickly.
So this is another awesome sentence. This person wrote the white as the lace hammock stretched down from the woman's waist, almost touching the warm golden sand. She was enjoying cool shade from the tall and sturdy coconut trees that were holding up her hammock, and that's who named Moss.
Wow, that's an excellent excellent sentence. I like that. So let us quickly write. In the essence of time, we have 10 more minutes left. Okay, so can you see what I'm writing? Can you see, students?
Yes, they can.
Okay, so let me just quickly type. We said a soothing, cool breeze. Raise your hand, raise a virtual hand if I'm going too fast for you, or if you don't understand what I just did. You will be doing your own shortly. So we said a soothing cool breeze played over the face of South Beach. The tranquil water laps gently at the pearl white sand. Okay, what was that excellent sentence that you had there, making a shushing sound? What was that sentence that you had?
This is another one. The water was flowing with the breeze while the trees was over the woman. Let me go back to the first one.
And we said she was Alexia.
Yeah. Okay, the white as the lace hammock stretched down from the woman's weight, almost touching the warm golden sand.
Okay,
She was
okay. 'Cause I'm going to type it. So we said
the white as the lace hammock stretched down from the woman's weight, almost touching the warm golden sand.
hold on, that's a little bit too fast because I'm writing it.
Okay.
So as Alexia's
Lace hammock stretched down from the woman's weight, comma,
okay, you could go ahead and write, students.
almost touching the warm golden sand. Full stop.
The warm golden sand. Okay.
And she has another sentence. She was enjoying the cool shade
she was enjoying the cool shade from
the tall and sturdy coconut trees.
Sturdy coconut trees
that were holding up her hammock.
Okay, that were holding her okay, that were holding
up her hammock. And that's Hune Moss, Hunae, Moss.
Okay, very well, very good, Hune. Very well, you're very creative. We enjoyed that sentence. Those sentences. All right, so we have our perfect paragraph right there using similes, adverbs, adjectives. We also used appeal to the senses there. So let me hope that you are all finished with that.
Shanika Penniman, earlier she said the sunshine gleamed on her skin. We put that in there.
Yes, the sunshine.
But she has the tequila sunshine. Tequila. Now, I've never heard that word before.
Yes, tequila.
Sunshine.
Sunshine.
Gleamed on her skin.
Gleamed on her skin.
And that's all she had.
Okay.
Okay, let's see what somebody else put to add on to that. And it felt like a warm embrace. That's Shaquila Penniman adding on the rest.
Okay, so I could see.
Wow, some awesome sentences.
All right, awesome.
Kenny Ramming wrote as she looked up at the formations of the clouds.
Wow. Wow, excellent. And we could go on and on. Nice. Who was that, Miss Ramming? All right, so it sounds as if you are ready to write your sentences to
okay, Shamu, she got hit by the coconuts.
All right, okay. So I am going to allow you to look at this image, this next one, because you would be describing this one. All right, so it's your turn. You're going to look at this one. We have to wrap up now because we have just 3 minutes left, but I am going to ask you to do this for homework. And the first thing in our next class or next series of classes, I will ask some of you to share your paragraphs. But so let us just talk about some of the things that we want to highlight in this sentence here, in this paragraph here. We see lights, we see buildings, we see the streets, we see a few people. You're not going to describe everything. Just remember that You are just going to be choosing a few of what you see here. We also see the sky. There is something ominous about the sky or the clouds. They were faint and hovering. Or some people could choose to describe the water. So you will be describing this scene for your assignment. And that should be pretty easy based on what we did thus far. So let me come back to this slide. I just want to conclude. First, what is setting? Somebody tell me. I want somebody to tell me what setting is.
They were still discussing the picture, so I put in time and place of something.
Okay, excellent.
Takes place. That's Brianna.
Okay.
What story takes place? Julia.
Okay. Tell us what you learned from today's class. What are some of the things that you learned from today's class about how to describe the setting or the type of setting?
Jaden says setting is the time and place where the story takes place.
That's correct.
Monroe said he learned the complete sentences. Janaya Richards said she did not get the last part. We're going to go back to the picture. And Kaden said the setting has to be clear. Tanika, something that describes the time and place and location. This Demrico Fox, an era of something where something takes place. Jamal Cooper, how to use the sentence.
Okay, all right, very good. You all learned a lot. So you correctly explained what setting is. And remember that when you're describing setting, you take a lot of things into consideration. For example, the place, the time, the culture, the time of day, and so forth. Also, remember that when you're describing setting or a scene, you try not to overwhelm yourself with too many descriptions or too many things to describe at one time. Just take apart 4 or 5 things, describe them or ascribe adjectives and imagery to each of them, and then put your sentences together by using imagery and simile. So that's very good. You learned a lot today, and we totally enjoyed your sentences. We can see that you are smart students and that you have been learning a lot with your teachers. Okay, so we are going to be leaving you with this slide. See if you could take the picture of it, or you could look at it long enough so that you can remember how it looks while you're doing your homework. So it seems as if it's at the edge of a lake, and there are many buildings there along the streets, lining the streets. It's very beautiful with a lot of lights, and we also can see what time of day it is. All right, so thank you very much, grade 7, again for joining us today. All 142 participants, all 140 of you. We enjoyed having you today, and see us tomorrow. I think tomorrow we will see you at 10 or 11 o'clock. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Welcome to the word of the week. The word of the week is ecstatic. E-C-S-T-A-T-I-C. Ecstatic. The part of speech, adjective. What does ecstatic mean? Ecstatic is the feeling of extreme happiness. Here's what it looks like.
You got it! Just won a $157,000 car.
Synonyms for ecstatic are elated, blissful, thrilled. Antonyms include miserable, depressed, sorrowful. Here's the word ecstatic being used in a sentence. Ronique was ecstatic when her parents threw her a surprise birthday party. Remember to use the word ecstatic in your speech and your writing this week. I'm Miss Barrow from Sadie Curtis Primary School. Until next time.